I am a 35-year-old loser. I'm unemployed with no prospects. I'm bald, and what little amount of hair I do have left is like quickly turning gray. Like my beard is pretty much all gray or white at this point. Um, yeah, I'm bald. Never had a girlfriend. Pretty much no friends. I live with my dad. And I'm a loser. I mean, there's nothing. There's no way to argue that I'm not. I am a loser. And it's just like I can't blame anybody but myself. Like it's my own fault. I'm not gonna sit here and like blame society. It's not like society is like unfair to me or anything. Like it's my fault, you know? It's like I fail at everything I try to do. Like I said, I live with my dad. I'm 35. I live with my dad. But that wasn't always the case. I mean, I actually, a few years ago, I had like a decent job and I quit that job because it's so stupid. Like, this is why I kind of deserve my fate, right? Like I had a good job. I quit my job, moved in with my dad. And why did I quit my job? Because I thought I'm going to start doing YouTube and my YouTube is going to take off and I'm just going to make that my career. I'm going to make enough money to make a living off YouTube. And like in my head, I'm even thinking like maybe I might be famous, like I might I might really make it big and become rich. And it's like is God, I'm so stupid. I mean, I don't know why. I thought like I studied YouTube. I studied YouTube channels that have blown up. I studied YouTube channels that were like that failed and didn't work. And I thought I knew like what works and what doesn't. I had like I knew how to record with like pretty decent audio quality. I knew how to edit videos pretty nice. And if you look at other videos on my channel, you'll see like okay, like they're not bad. Some of these are actually pretty good. Yet still, only one of those videos actually like got a decent number of views. But it's like obviously I need every video to do that well, and it would take me like a month sometimes, or like at least like 2 weeks to a month to make a video. So it's just like, yeah, God, it's just, I don't know, man. I feel like it's so over at this point for me. Like, do you know what it's like being 35 years old, no friends, and never even had a girlfriend? Like, it's tough. And then on top of that, I'm bald, so, and I have a weird shaped head too, right? And you can verify this. Just look at any of my other videos, and or not any of them, but some of my videos. Like I'm in the video, so you'll see it. Um, Man, I think there's not much I can do, and it's like, man, I don't know. Like I used to have, uh, I used to have so much potential for real. Like now it's pretty much over. There's like, oh, I'm laughing. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Like it's pretty much over. Like I used to have so much potential though. I like facially, I'm not that ugly, right? Like I don't know. Like some people might say that no, you're ugly as hell, but I think, I'm probably like average looking. I think I'm about average. I don't know. So I don't, this, like, my face isn't really the problem, And I'm also like, I'm pretty tall. I'm like 6'2". So, that's good. And it is kind of like the one thing that makes me like not a total loser is just being tall. But, uh, I know a lot of guys out there will be like, "Oh man, you never had a girlfriend? That's BS, man. You're 6'2". It's easy. You're 6'2", white guy. It should be easy for you to get a girl." It's like, bro, I'm telling you, it's not. I'm telling you, being at 6'2", with my face, my baldness, and me being a 35-year-old loser, um, and that's not even, I'll get into this later, but the biggest problem in my life is my social anxiety. That's really what does it for me. But, and I might be on the autism spectrum as well. I don't know. But either way, I'm just telling you, being 6'2", it will not suddenly like does not make you like not a loser. You like girls aren't just throwing themselves at me because I'm 6'2". It's in fact not at all, not at all. Okay, so anyways, where was I going with this? Okay, yeah, like so when I was younger, like for a brief period during high school, I had a lot of potential. Like I was basically like I was actually good looking. I actually had like a few times actually, girls like approached me and like hit on me. Now, me at that time, so I either would like, I would think they're like just like making fun of me or that they're just being nice for whatever. Like I didn't even perceive it correctly, but I look back on it now and I was like, oh, girls, they liked me. But I didn't pick up on it at the time because I'm just like, my social anxiety and possible autism, like I'm just like retarded basically. So I didn't pick up on it, and you know, nothing came of it. But for a brief period in high school, I was actually like I was good looking. I had like a full head of hair. I had pretty nice hair actually, and I was in pretty good shape. Like physically, I was a Chad basically. But if I had and during that time, actually, like my social skills were getting better. They've since like totally regressed, but they were getting better at the time. And I feel like if I had kept progressing in that direction, my whole life would be different right now. Like my whole life could be different. But I don't know, man. I mean, really, it probably didn't even matter. Like because I don't know if there's anything that could like ever fix this like unbearable social anxiety that I suffer from. And I think this is something that a lot of you can just like not understand. To give you an example, so there was like one time, actually a couple times in high school and like after high school that I actually ended up like going to a house party. And I know a lot of people are hearing this too and they're like, "Man, you're fake. You're like," or they'll say I'm a fake cell or whatever because, they'll be like, "Well, you're tall, you were actually good looking in high school. You went to parties as a good looking tall guy." Yeah, I did, but I'm telling you, like, it wasn't good. I'm telling you. Okay, just listen to my story. Okay, I'll tell you about a time I went to a high school party. So I had some friends back then, or kind of like acquaintances, and this one guy I know that he was actually like pretty popular, and we became friends in class, just like talking about Call of Duty or something. I don't know, talking about video games. Anyways, he was cool and popular, invited to all the parties, so he's like, I guess was like feeling sorry for me or whatever is the kind of the vibe I got. He felt bad for me because it's not like he invited me to like lots of parties and stuff, but just this one time he was like, hey, there's this party going on, you ought to come. So yeah. So anyways, I go to the party with this guy, and it's like we actually drove there together. So like he drove, and or no, that's not what it is. He got one of his like older friends because at the time I think me and my friend were both 15, so we couldn't drive. Yeah, so he got one of his older friends to drop us off at the party. The other guy didn't even go to the party; he just like dropped us off. But anyways, so we go into this party, right? And it's going like pretty well. Actually, at first it was going really well. Like some people from school, like when I first walked in, were like coming up and like, dapping me, giving me handshakes and stuff like, "Oh, dude, what's up? I can't believe you're at the party. What's up?" Because, I was in high school, I wasn't a loser. I mean, I guess people like respected me at least enough. They just kind of knew me as the guy that never says anything, right? I was just kind of known for for my social anxiety, basically. Known for being the guy that like literally never talks. Although, like I said, I did manage to kind of make a friend or two, but man, wish I could do that now, But anyways, so I go to this party and like at first it's going pretty well. Like I feel like okay, people are treating me nice. Like and this whole time, my shoulders are tense. I'm like sweating. I'm nervous. when I talk, my voice is like cracking and stuff, but it still was going pretty well. And I was like getting more comfortable. So then I stepped outside. I didn't really know what to do, right? I feel like awkward at a party. And like my one friend that I came with kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say he like abandoned me, but like he didn't leave the party or anything, but he just kind of like walked away from where I was and was talking to some other people, which I totally understand. It's not like he should, expect to just like babysit me the whole night, but that kind of like left me like now I'm feeling like alone, abandoned kind of. Although I'm not mad at him or anything, but it's like, man, I can't. I'm just so like socially, my social skills are so bad. I can't handle this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, anyways, my friend had like gone out the back door of this house at this party, and I just kind of like followed him out there and found him in the backyard talking to some other dudes. I kind of just like walked up to their circle, and thankfully, that went pretty well. They kind of like included me in conversation for a little bit. But anyways, so then me and my friend, the friend that I came with, so we kind of like walked around the side of the house, and then like we are gonna go back into the house through like a side door. It's like the same door that we first entered the party. But anyways, we walk in, my friend walks in. Oh God, and I'm cringing right now. Like this is such a horrible memory. What happened here? It's like everyone that has social anxiety, or if you have social anxiety disorder, this memory I'm about to tell you, this is your worst nightmare. And it was my worst nightmare, and it happened to me. So, all right, here's what it is. My friend walks in first. I walk in after him. Okay, so as soon as we walk in, there's this. When we first arrived at the party, there's a lot of people there, but it's not like full. Now, after we went outside for a little while and we walked back in, the house, it's now packed. There's like 3 times as many people there at this point, like over 100 people easily in like a small house. And so anyways, we walk back in this party. It's now packed like almost shoulder to shoulder everywhere. And as soon as we walk in, there's like this guy in that room that we entered through. He immediately looks at both of us. He goes, "That's 2 motherfuckers I've never seen before." And it just like, oh my God. And something to keep in mind here is like, I don't really know most of the people at this party. Like, I think people from like different schools were showing up, right? So and even like people at my school, I didn't like really know everybody. So there's like, a lot of people I don't recognize, and people that don't recognize me at this party. So this guy he's like, "That's 2 motherfuckers I've never seen in my life." Now, I saw the guy, like we kind of made eye contact. I know he saw me see him. My friend maybe didn't even hear him say that. I don't know, but either way, me and my friend just continue walking. We're like walking through this room, like trying to leave this room. But as we're walking, that guy, he just keeps saying, he's like, hey, come back. Hey, I want to talk to you. Like he's trying to get our attention, right? And my friend is just like not looking around at all. Just, I don't know if he hears him or what, but he just like completely walks out of the room, right? I'm trying to walk right behind my friend and walk out of the room. As I get to the door, it's kind of like, it's so packed in this party that it's like, I can't walk through the doors. There's like kind of people standing there, moving around or whatever, and I can't make it through because my path is basically blocked. And so this guy is still behind me yelling like, hey, just trying to get my attention. And I'm just like, oh my God. Because I know like everybody in that room, there's like, probably 20 people in that room, and they're all looking at me at this point. So I turn around. And, I'm right. Like literally every person in that room. And by the way, I'm like 15 years old. I think I was like a freshman at this time. I may have been in 10th grade. I don't know. But most of these other people are older. It's like the older like popular kids from school. So it's like already I'm like have social anxiety. But then like on top of who it is, all the Chads and Stacys or whatever you want to call them, just in this room, now they're all staring at me, right? And there's this one guy that I have no idea who he is. He doesn't go to my school. whatever. And he's like kind of acting aggressive toward me, right? So he's like, everybody's looking at me. I turn around and I'm just like, hey, what's up? I think I just said, what's up, or something like that. This guy looks at me and he just starts grilling me. He's like, who the hell are you? And he's not being nice, right? Like I'm getting scared. It's like everybody's looking at me, and he just keeps grilling me. He's like, oh yeah, I guess this is kind of an important thing to understand this story. So there was the whole time, like from the first time I got to this party, everyone around is kind of talking like kids from this other school are going to come here and we're going to have a brawl. Like there's supposed to be like a big fight. Like some kids from my school are going to like have a big fight with kids from this other school, right? And I don't know if they're saying they're going to like pull up and, these kids from the other school are going to pull up and there's going to be a fight. I think that's what like that's kind of the rumor that's going around. There's going to be a fight anyways with some kids from, we'll call it like school B. Okay. Some kids from school B are going to come. There's going to be a fight. All right. So this guy is grilling me. He's like, where do you go to school? And I say the name of the school where it's like, where most of the people at this party are from, I think. And I don't think he misheard me, but he just repeats, he's like, oh, school B? And I was like, no, school A. And he's like, school B? He keeps like trying to imply I'm from the school where that like everyone hates. You know what I mean? The school that these kids are gonna come, the kids that are gonna start a fight are gonna come from. He keeps trying to imply I'm from that I'm from school B. And I'm like, no, school A. He's like, school B? And while he's doing this, keep in mind, this room is full of the popular kids at school, like older kids, like seniors and juniors. Then they're looking at me and they're all like, they're laughing. they're all looking at me and laughing at me. Like I can laugh at this now, but oh my God, it was my worst nightmare and I was living it. Holy cow. Anyways, so eventually he's like, okay. He like, accepts my answer. Like, no, I'm from this school. And he's like, how do you know? He asked me, he asked me, he's like, why are you here? And I'm telling him like, well, I didn't know what to say, right? So I just say, I came with, and I say the name of my friend. Now here's where it also gets confusing, right? Because my friend that I came with, he has the same first name as the guy who lived in the house. Like the guy that is hosting the party and my friend are two different guys, right? There's my friend, there's the guy that is hosting this party, but they have the same name. They have the same first name, right? We'll say the name is John. That's not it, but we'll say it's John. So I say I came with John. And this guy is like, oh, John, whatever, like the guy that's hosting this party. And I was like, no, it's the other guy. And he's like, oh, he doesn't know my friend either. So he's like, what? And then, I don't know, man, it was so weird. He was like grilling me about, who I came with. And then I felt awkward because I didn't want, I didn't want to like make my friend look bad for bringing me to this party and where I seemed to not be very well liked, but I mean, I didn't know what to say, right? So I kind of put him on blast. Anyways, then I forget how exactly this entire conversation progressed, but I was just kind of like standing there quiet, looking around, not knowing what to do. Everyone in the room is looking at me, just being quiet, waiting for either me or this other guy to say something. And this guy starts, what does he do? He starts being like, he starts just like openly just saying mean things. He's like, everybody here hates you, right? He said that. He said, everybody here hates you, right? And I didn't know what to say because it's like, I kind of understood. I kind of got the vibe that this guy is, he's just messing. Like, I don't think he's going to actually like try and like kick my ass or anything. I think he's just like having fun messing with me. But I didn't know how to handle that situation at all. Like, I probably could have said, there's probably something like witty or funny I could have said to just like end the situation and like get myself out of it unscathed, but I didn't know what that was. So anyways, he's like, you know, everybody here hates you, right? And then he goes, you see that black guy right there? I turn around and there's just like, yeah, there's a guy, some black guy standing there, just kind of like watching the situation. And I turn back and see him. He looks at me, he doesn't say anything. I turn back to this guy and he's like, he hates you. He's like, you see that black guy standing there? He hates you. And I'm like, okay, after he says that, I turn back around, look at the black guy, and he's looking at me. He just kind of stares at me looking kind of mean for like 2 seconds. And then he he like grabs my shoulder and he's like, they're just messing with you, man. So it was like, okay, like this, you know, I guess he didn't want to be part of the bullying or whatever, or he kind of like could tell I was not taking it well. So he's like, they're just messing with you, man. And I was like, yeah, I know. Anyways, that guy walked off. I turn around. I forget. I think I was just kind of getting fed up at this point. I was like, all right. I think I said something like, all right, man, I don't know what you want from me. And then I just walked off, right? I just walked off. I turn around. I'm like walking out of the room finally. And as I'm walking, I'm like 3 steps into the next room. This guy is still yelling from that room. He's like, come back here. I'm not done talking to you. Come back here. And I'm just like, okay, I'm legitimately scared, right? Like, I'm scared. This guy might beat me up. And everybody else might watch and laugh while it's happening. That's kind of how it seemed like where it might be going. So anyways, I'm walking away. And no lie, I walk straight. I just keep walking. I walk straight to the back door, open the back door all the time. This guy is yelling across the entire house, across the whole party. He's like, hey, come back here. I walk out the back door. I walk around the house and I just like run away from the house, right? Then this is nowhere near where I live. I just run down the street until I find like a little I find like a little section of woods like at the end of the street and I go into the woods at night, right? And then I just I called my friend that I came with and I was like, dude, we have to go. Dude, we have to go. I have to leave. And thankfully, my friend, he was kind of like, dude, I don't want to go yet or whatever. But thankfully, he was like, okay. After I told him what happened, he came out. I told him where I was, and we were able to call somebody and get a ride. So we found somebody to take us both home after that. What else is there to say? Yeah, I'm a loser. And by the way, that story I just told about my social anxiety, I have so many stories about having social anxiety and how much that has just like screwed up my life and turned me into a 35-year-old loser. Like, God, it's so brutal, dude. It's so freaking brutal. I don't know. It feels like I think I'm like, look, like I don't even think I'm ugly. And like I said, I'm tall, but facially, I'm probably like average looking tall, but I'm freaking bald, dude. I have a weird shaped head. I'm completely like mentally, like socially, I'm never gonna make it socially, dude. There's just no way, dude. I am not good. I have no social skills, dude. It's bad. It's bad. On top of that, like I've never like talked to anyone about it or even tried to get diagnosed because it's like, what's the point? But I'm pretty sure I'm on the autism spectrum. Like I like have Asperger's or whatever. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it doesn't help. Like I always feel like, I can't relate to anybody. Like anytime I have like, and this is probably why I have such bad social anxiety. Anytime that I have like had the courage to speak up in a group or like really speak my mind or like say something I think is funny or like whatever the case may be, I'm always just met with like people like look at me weird or they're just like the response is never what you would want it to be, right? It's always like, did he just say that? What is wrong with this guy? People are thinking like, did he just say that? Ew, what? They just can't understand like the natural like my natural like impressions, the things I want to talk about, the things I say, it's like never the right thing, you know? It's just like my interests do not align with like, I guess you call them normies or whatever, but I don't even know if there's like non-normies, you know? Because I knew people like at school like that were even some like acquaintances or whatever that were like kind of popular aren't necessarily normies. Like there was people very clued into like online culture, like maybe not to the degree I am, but they're like kind of normies basically, or kind of not normies exactly, yet still able to like walk amongst the normies, be normal, uh, and be well liked and stuff. And I don't know, man. It's just like I can't do that. Like I just, oh, it's so brutal, dude. I don't know. And oh man, it's so bad. Like to give you another example, like how socially messed up I am, like how bad my social anxiety is. So like when I was in high school, we would always have like a 10-minute break period. It was like before lunch sometime, between two classes sometime before lunch. We would have like a 10-minute break, right? I'm sure you've been to high school or you go to high school, you probably have something similar. So during break, there was like, it was just kind of, you can hang out in the hallways, pretty much walk anywhere on the school campus and, just talk to people. You can eat snacks, do whatever you want, right? Now me, I didn't have any friends. I told you that story. I went to a party with one guy once, but like truly, I basically like didn't really have any friends. That was like a one-time thing. I never hung out with that guy outside of school again. So yeah. And well, actually, I did, but that's a story for another day. We'll leave that for another time. But yeah, so during break, everybody's just hanging out with their friends in the hallways, talking and whatever. Me, I I didn't know what to do. This is literally what I did during break period. I would just go to the bathroom and stand. I would just stand at the urinal like I'm peeing, and I would just stand there for like 5 minutes, or what seemed like roughly. I wasn't timing it or anything, but I would just stand there as long as I could until I felt like, okay, too many people have like walked in and come and gone and seen me standing here, that they'll think, okay, this guy's been peeing for a really long time. So I would just stand at the urinal in one bathroom for as long as I could until I felt like too many people had seen me. Then I would walk out and I would just walk straight like across the school hallway to the other end of the hall, and just I would go into the bathroom that's down there and I would do the same thing there. And if it got to the point that I felt like too many people saw me in this one, I would just leave and go back to the other bathroom and do it again. So basically at break, for the entire break period, I did this all throughout high school. Y'all, I did this every day of high school during break period. This is what I did. I went to the bathroom and pretended I stood at the urinal, pretended to be peeing. And then eventually I walked out, walked to another bathroom and stood at the urinal there. And I would just stand at the urinal and just, because I didn't know what to do, man. Yeah, I felt like if I just like go into the hallway, I'm just like kind of standing there in the hallway. And by the way, my school was like, it was like an old building and the school had grown as far as like the number of students, right? So there was like too many students for the size of the building. So it was always like during break, it's basically like almost like shoulder to shoulder, right? So I could go out in the hallway and just kind of like stand there, but and there was like two or three benches in the entire school, right? So there's not even really anywhere to sit, although I guess I could sit on the floor. But either way, I just felt like, what am I going to do? Just stand in the hallway, not talking to anybody, just being weird? People walk, eventually someone's going to see me, right? And they're going to be like, okay, that guy's weird. Why the hell is he just standing there, not saying anything, looking all awkward, right? So I don't know. I thought, well, at least if I'm at the urinal, I'm doing something right. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing something. This isn't weird. Although in reality, what I was doing, just like pretending to be to be peeing for the entire 10-minute break period, that's weird. Like, that's extra weird. But in my mind at the time, it was like, that's what makes sense. Um, and I actually, oh God, one time, this guy, he's like popular Chad from from school, right? He called me out on it. He noticed what I was doing. He went into the bathroom and he was like, I don't know what it was. He like went to the bathroom while I was doing this. Like I'm standing at the urinal. He comes in, he used the bathroom, then he left and he came back like a few minutes later to, I don't know what he was doing. He was looking in the mirror, washing his hands or something like that. But when he came back, he was like, he noticed I'm still standing at the urinal, which didn't make any sense because I should have been done by then. And he called me out on it. He's like, man, you're just pretending to be Pete. He's like, I don't know if he like understood why I'm doing it, but he totally called me out on it. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, nah, man, I really had to go to the bathroom. And he's like, nah, man, nah. He just totally called me out on it. I don't know if he didn't like, run into the hallways and start telling other people about it and making a big deal about it. It was just me and him in there, and he called me out to my face. I denied it. He never said anything else about it. I don't know if he ever like told anyone else about it. But man, that was like I was like, oh damn, the jig is up. I've been caught. But yeah, nothing really ever came of that. It was just kind of funny actually. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this video. And if I do, I mean, I don't even know what. I guess I'll just put some gameplay footage in the background or something. I don't know, but yeah, if this video gets a little bit of attention, I don't know. Maybe I'll make some more videos like this where I just kind of, talk about my experiences being a 35-year-old loser and what it's like. 'Cause yeah, man, it's hard. It's tough, but I I was about to be like, but I'm gonna make it through or say something positive, but I don't really have anything positive to say, man. I'm a 35-year-old loser. I'm bald, dude. It sucks. That's about it.